Welcome back, everyday business leaders. I'm Melanie Ake, your host for today's show, coming to you from JP the Geek Studio right here in Greenwood, Indiana. Today, I am excited to share with you Juli Stansberry. She's an author, and we're going to hear all about her story and why she's so passionate about teaching us how to take care of our elderly community today. So join me. We're connecting to remarkable business leaders in our own community, and they are helping us to think and grow differently. Remember, subscribe to our channel and turn your notifications on so you never miss an episode. Are you ready to meet Juli? Here we go. Hi, Juli.
Hi, Melanie.
This is awesome to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's awesome to be here.
Well, we've been connecting for a few months, and I have a copy of your book, and I've seen you in a play.
Yes.
And you have so much to talk about.
A lot.
So let's get started with your profession is.
Absolutely.
So you've got so many titles, but you care about healthcare.
Yes.
And elderly. And so tell us a little bit about your background and what has inspired you. I know your grandmother, but what's really inspired you to do what you're doing today?
Yes. So really, as you stated, it really does go back to my grandmother. First, just the love and respect that my parents taught us to have as children toward the elderly. Well, that trickled over into knowing that this is something that, should I take this a little bit further? And then I began volunteering in nursing homes. I really did. And then after volunteering in nursing homes, I thought about what I could do. I seen the activity therapists, and I thought, should I do that? And then I seen that they always had a large group, and I'm kind of an introvert. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, I am introverted. So I thought, what can I do that I can still kind of do what they're doing, but do it more on a one-on-one basis? And that is when my guidance counselor instructed me about occupational therapy. And I had no clue what it was. Neither does anyone else still even. And our profession is growing and growing still. Mm-hmm. But I decided that was something that I love to do. And as an occupational therapist, I was able to focus on the individual's care and what the individual desired, what did they want, and more so of the individual care. It's just that. And it wasn't group. It's like I got to have a personal relationship with each and every one of my clients. And that was very special to me. Very, very special. Still is.
Well, that's so important because in healthcare, we always talk about, and I've been in healthcare for years in different companies, and thinking about being an advocate, right? You say if you can't be your own advocate, you don't really know what care you're getting.
That's right.
And today it's hard to get somebody else. With COVID and all of that, you couldn't get anybody to come in and be your advocate.
That's correct.
So that was a big gap.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely it was.
So what do you think is, what's the solution to how we can be better advocates for ourselves?
Well, it really does come to having the knowledge. Mm-hmm. But for individuals who don't have the knowledge, I really strongly even advise individuals to take someone with them, someone that has a piece of that knowledge. For example, I had an uncle that went to the hospital, and my sister-in-law, she is a nurse, so she had the opportunity to speak even over the phone with the different physicians, therapists, etc., because they were using a lot of medical jargon, which is kind of one of my little pet peeves, because you can't talk to the average individual because we've went to school, so we know what all of this means. Mm-hmm. But when you're trying to speak to individuals, you really have to have it in layman's terms. And that's one of the gaps I think that needs to be filled in our profession in general, just in healthcare in general. But being an advocate for yourself, you really just have to really delve into the internet, Google. Mm-hmm. I mean, anything that you don't know, really strongly even ask the physicians. I have to tell a lot of my patients, ask the doctor what that means. Mm-hmm. Ask them what kind of medications you're taking, because they'll say, I took this little blue pill today, and I'm like, okay, well, did you ask what it was? No, I figured it was okay. Well, you probably need to ask. I mean, it's okay, but we have a perception, I think, especially since I work with individuals that are normally 50 and older, there's a perception where they give the physician all of the control, and they believe that because of their knowledge, they don't have the capacity to ask them a question and they feel intimidated by their knowledge. But I think now we're getting more so there are individuals that actually want to speak to you about your diagnosis and be an advocate for you as well. I really do see that coming about more so than anything. So I'm very happy about that, especially with my book. I'm extremely excited about that.
Well, you talk a lot about that, just the communication in general.
Yes.
But I think it gets back to like what our personal belief is, right? Like you said, and how comfortable we are.
Yes. And that's something that I definitely understand. But then if I come across a client that I think that has that type of perception, I really try to assist them with advocating for themselves. And if they don't, then that's when I step in. And I have no problem with that.
Well, and in school, I mean, I worked with doctors that innovated and created technologies for years. And you think, they go to medical school, but some of them don't know how to communicate. They don't have business degrees, so they have trouble running their business. Part of the practice.
That's
right?
very true. Very true.
There needs to be like this gap of communication training, maybe for occupational therapists and other entities that can really help bridge that gap and make people feel more confident, right?
Absolutely. That's an awesome idea. We'll have to put that in the spin.
Let's go, girl.
I'm going to steal that idea. You heard it first from Melanie.
That's right. But it is really true. And I think because a lot of people are scared post-COVID, if they haven't been to the hospital for anything or had a procedure, it's like, well, can I go? And who can I take? And what should I ask?
Yes.
And is it okay? Like, should I just go to the teledoc?
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And ask them on the screen because we're all comfortable with Zoom.
Oh, of course.
Yet that doesn't always get it.
No,
right?
It doesn't. There's still nothing like that person-to-person interaction and relationship with the physician, although they are, like you said, going a lot toward telehealth, but they did kind of linger on with that, and it still is. So that did make a kind of a grand opening into healthcare, and it's still there. Post-COVID, it's still there.
It's probably good for some services, right? Like anything else. But what I think, when you get down to like the treatment, when you are actually in a facility, when you're going to visit somebody that has to be in a hospital, has to be in long-term care, has to have those services. Like, what are the pinpoints? Now, you've got a lot about this in your book. Talk to me about the passion for why you wrote the book from your grandmother. But also, what can we do today to make a difference?
Yes. So making a difference with caring for individuals in those type of locations. It sounds like basics, but you have no idea when you go into these places, you're meeting a stranger for the first time and you're not meeting them under the best circumstances. So you're sick and you definitely want the compassion from someone. And then if you run into someone that doesn't have that compassion, and that's because, to their defense, they've seen a lot of people. So it's like clockwork. So you have a whole lot of people coming in, and sometimes that bedside manner, it will go out the window. And that's just because of the volume of individuals that you're having to cater to. And then, of course, that's you interacting with other healthcare professionals at the same time. So everybody's trying to get on the same page at the same time with the same person, and everyone has different ideals, which is when then some of that goes out the window. But for me, it's always been person first. And with my profession, I have the capability of sitting with a person for an hour and doing my evaluation with them and getting to know their background and having the time to spend with them. But I really think just knowing the person's name, just addressing them by the name first. Then it's like, oh, they're paying attention. I'm not just another number. That's first of all. And then general, how are you doing today? Like, how are you feeling? I mean, I ask that every time I walk in the door before I even start getting to business as usual. And they feel great. I mean, it's something simple as, do you need a cup of water? I mean, it's what do you need?
That's pretty simple, right?
Yes, it sounds simple. It sounds very minute to the treatment, but when someone is all over the place and they're not used to being sick and now they're dealing with this, and especially when I receive a lot of individuals who are as independent as you and I are, walking around, and then one day they get in a car accident, all of a sudden they have a spinal cord injury, all of a sudden they're losing a limb, all of a sudden they have a broken bone. And I mean, they're taken completely out of their element. So then you're dealing with the injury as well, because the person's very agitated. So I just remain calm, and I go to the temperament of the individual. That's my main advice, is going to the temperament, because you'll have a lot of people walk in a room and just start jibber jabbing to the person, and they're not even there mentally. They're not even there, they're there physically, but mentally they're not even there, because they're still dealing with the injury and what has occurred, and wrapping their mind around life is not as it was as usual. So
well, and people don't heal as we age.
No,
they
not
don't
as quickly.
Heal as fast, and so you have to have the tolerance.
Yes,
right, to have that patience and compassion.
Absolutely, and that is something that I almost say it is innate. For me, it is innate, but it is something that I would love to utilize my book to be able to train individuals, starting at the levels of wherever, but just not only healthcare professionals, but caregivers in general. Because I do have a mother at home that is needing assistance, and we take care of her around the clock, all of the family members. So we rotate around her. She's doing wonderful, but it's still that care, and then divvying up some of that care that is very important. And family support is wonderful. If you have that is the most important, if you have that piece of the puzzle.
If you have that, right? A lot of families may not live in the area, and so that's where you come into long-term care facilities, nursing homes.
That's correct.
That can have that capacity. And so medical versus non-medical, right? So you talk a lot about this in your book.
Yes.
So this book is called Equip Yourself, Caregiver Tips for Our Aging Population. So I want you to look at this, but you can go on Amazon and you can get this right now. It's really great. It's an easy read, but you really talk about the strategies and the tips to help people equip themselves.
Yes.
Even as a caregiver, not just as a professional.
Yes.
So you don't have to have a degree.
No, this is not
to do any
savvy.
of this.
No.
But you can also do this even if you're volunteering. Like a lot of people want to spend time volunteering, and they say, well, I'm not sure that it's safe, but people need volunteers to do these jobs.
Yes, they do. Yeah. They do. We definitely do in those different realms. And then the volunteers are awesome, as you were stating. It's because they don't have the pressure either of the volume and us keeping up with different numbers, because we have to do that as well. Even though it's healthcare, it's still business as usual. However, when you have the volunteers that come in, they definitely have more of the time and have the ability to sit and actually be one-on-one with the individual, because a lot of the individuals that I work with, they really need one-on-ones, because we have a lot of individuals that deal with mental health, and mental health is huge right now. It's a large factor that can affect everything. I mean, they say mind over matter, and yes, and if your mental status is not there, I don't care how you are physically. I mean, your mind can really do some tricks on you.
Whatever you tell yourself is what'll happen.
That is correct.
So if you don't think you can heal, if you're not in the right environment, if you don't feel safe, then you're not going to heal as fast.
That's right. That's right. You're worried, and I have a lot of individuals who have anxiety. Anxiety is huge, and I definitely understand it. I couldn't imagine, God willing, I still stay in great health, but we never know. It's minute by minute, day by day. We never know. So it's very, very, very important to take advantage of your health as you see it and as it is now. Yes.
So as you start training people on this book, what do you see, like where's the first area that you would like to go out and educate people that you think could make the most impact?
Well, I really think seeing the person as a person and an individual first. When you just take the time and if it's only one sentence of something about someone, it's you trying to get to know the individual. But once you open that door, you will be so surprised about how many people just take an interest in going ahead and sharing without any more questions after that, because then they see you as this is a person as well, and they're really generally interested in my well-being. I think that's where I would start first, because I really don't see that a lot in healthcare. And I know it's probably once a day I have to stop some of my, we have nurses, aides, CNAs. I have to stop them and, kind of go with them into the rooms with individuals and just kind of say, well, this is Mrs. So-and-so, and they do this way, because a lot of people would just go in, a lot of the healthcare professionals and just people in general, like you said, in caregivers, anybody that's taking care of anyone, and just do stuff to people without hearing them, without listening to their likes, without knowing how they were before, which is very vital. Which is the name of my business, Vital Daily Living, by the way, LLC. But yes, so I think, first of all, you have to know the individual. That's vital. It's vital. And then you can move forward very effectively, I have found, very effectively.
So it's connecting on common ground, right?
Yes.
That's one of the leadership principles of life is
Yes.
how do you really connect on common interest?
Yes.
So finding that common interest, but everybody
Yes.
can do that if they want to, right?
Yes.
It's kind of leaving your issues at the door
Yes.
and really thinking about how to serve that one
Absolutely.
person at a time.
That's right. That's servitude. That is absolutely correct. Being a servant to that individual. And that's what I actually told someone. That's funny you mentioned that about leaving everything at the door, because that's exactly what I do. When I know I'm going to someone's house, or if I'm going to help someone and focus on what's going to be the best plan of action for that individual care, I leave everything I have to do at the door. And I mean, I can really separate that, because now it's about them. It's totally about them. Because, everyone, as we go through life, we're always going to find someone that's in a worse predicament than we are. And so when I go to help that individual, 9 times out of 10, that is the case. So I want to make sure that I am focused on their every need and providing the resources as I can. So I just think the basics, really, that's going to be the basics. If I can get past that, then we can skip to all the other semi-complex things, which are not too complex. But that's why, like you said, that very easy read, and I kept it simple as I could.
Very simple. There's so much that has changed. It's here the middle of July when we're having this interview.
Yes.
And I think about July 1st, a lot of things in Medicaid changed that have impacted long-term health care, facilities that are taking care of people that if you dictated medical versus non-medical.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts are with these changes and how that's going to impact the people that you're working with.
Well, right now, the changes that have occurred, the biggest changes are within the Medicaid system in general with the home care services. Now, that's the most prominent one that's really affecting everything now. We're going to have other changes that are coming up that are going to affect the facilities. Those have not affected us quite as much as the home care piece of the puzzle with, like you said, the medical versus the non-medical. I don't want to speak too much on it, but but there are effects that are happening that will basically take away some of the hours that individuals were needing. There were different things that were affecting individuals that were caring for their children at home, which was huge. I think we kind of had a really large kind of riot per se downtown Indianapolis. It was extremely intense regarding the changes that have occurred. But it seems as though things are smoothing out a lot better than I anticipated. So right now, everything is going a lot better than I thought, because we were in an uproar. We thought it was going to really hit so hard that no one would know what they're going to do afterwards.
But it's the understanding, right?
Yes.
It's once we start to understand what the laws and the policies mean, then we know how to take care of people better.
Yes, and that's what's very important. I think right now we're still able to provide the utmost care for everybody as much as we can when it comes to the care, but we're still going through it. I mean, we still are not solid. We're not solid, but we'll get there. I know within a month or so. I think. I'm being optimistic.
Well, but in your book, talk to us about the teams that you work with. Like, what do you think one of the advantages is for somebody being trained? And I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear it from you. So being trained to the level that your entire team understands to level your communication up, right? Yes. How does that really impact the bottom line?
Hi, I'm Melanie Ake, founder of Everyday Leaders, and I'm excited to share with you a new training resource for your team called the Leadership Game. The Leadership Game is a tool. It's administered exclusively by John Maxwell team members. And when you bring this assessment tool in to lead your organization, it shows you the current level of your leadership and gives you tangible and actionable results to move forward. So don't delay. Get in the game, the leadership game, exclusively from Everyday Leaders.
Yes. So impacting the bottom line, as you were stating, is that would be, so with the training, we would start with first our team getting together. That's first of all. We do have to collaborate as a team first, and we all have to get on the same page that this is necessary, because we do still have individuals that may think that this is not necessary. However, they're not understanding the impact that they are having on the individuals being compliant. Because we do have compliance issues with some individuals, and sometimes that is stemmed directly from them feeling that the physician is not listening to them, or the doctor or the therapist or the nurse are just simply not listening. So if we start from that point and we begin that training on how can we be more effective with listening to our clients and their needs and their wants and their desires, then that will affect the team. Hopefully, then we can all kind of trickle down and have our own ideals of how we can impact, because we're all different professions, so we all have different focuses. So then once we have all those focuses and we collaborate together, then the bottom line is that we get this client healed, home, or wherever their destination that they desire to be in. And that's what, I'm doing on a daily basis. Even today, just before I came here, we just had to have that conversation. I had to have that conversation with one of my other therapists, one of my teammates. We have a client I said, we've just got to have a care plan meeting. That's all, because all of disciplines need to be involved, because this individual's thinking one thing and everyone else is thinking another thing. And I said, this is just not going to work because of the intensity of care that she needs right now. So, yes, I think that will help with the bottom line is once the teams get together, then that's how we can do all of the healing. We can continue with the continuum of care to be effective for the individual to get to their destination, their final destination.
It does take a team,
It does.
John Maxwell wrote a book, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect.
Yes.
And it just reminds me of all the principles in that book. It'd be a great one to train your group on.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It just has 10 principles, right? But it's really common ground and doing the things that you need to do and being that person that calls out the advocacy and being that person that leads the team and being that person that keeps people accountable.
Yes.
There are so many things that that we see, and I love your statistics in the book.
Oh, thank you.
Just talking about this is the biggest generation besides the millennials.
Yes.
And so we really have to figure out a plan. It's not just going to go away.
No.
There's this whole middle group that's not going to have the need for as much care.
Right.
But then there's the millennials, right?
Yes.
So who's going to take care of who next?
I know. I'm telling you, because it's going back and forth right now. Because I have a client right now, she's taking care of her son. And her son is in his 30s and she's in her 60s. So, it's just so much back and forth. It's and you unbelievable.
Never know. And with the healthcare policies changing.
Yes.
Right. So what's available, and if you have jobs available, it all does at the whole country, all the policies affect every family.
Yes. Every family. It doesn't matter at this point. Even if you don't have children at home, then it's you and your husband or your spouse or whomever. Yes.
Or your friends that you call in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yes. So it will affect everyone. You're absolutely right. And it's inevitable. But all we have to do is, like I said, stay positive and educate yourself as much as possible on policies and procedures. And if you have questions, definitely any office, anyone that has a physician can go into a doctor's office, or even if you don't, like I said, there's the telehealth if you don't want to do that. They even have online where you can just Google, even if you don't have a physician, you can find a physician and speak to them for a short period of time over the phone. Or like you said, maybe a Zoom or anything like that. So there really is a lot of knowledge, and that's the beauty of what's going on right now of our technology. So there's no one that should not be in the know unless you don't have the technology. And I do have individuals who do not like to use a computer, so that's the ones I advocate for. Tell me what it is that you might need to know, or don't be afraid to ask your physician, or if you don't, then I'll ask them for you, or your nurse, or your therapist, or whomever that you may have a question unanswered that you're intimidated to ask.
That's a great point. A lot of people that they are tired. You may be the person that like moves their pillow or helps them walk or gets them back into bed in a different way.
Yes.
Helps them learn a new exercise.
Yes.
But they may talk to you more as a friend.
Yes.
Right? If you give them that opportunity.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
less, even if a family member, they don't feel comfortable saying to their family member,
Yes.
I need to know this, or can you explain it to me? Because they're in a different position, right?
Absolutely.
They're vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is primarily the case with a lot of people that I'm in the mix with, especially a lot of the patients or clients. They don't have family members that they feel comfortable talking with, or their family members are not comfortable talking with them, or they're kind of dictating toward them.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying about getting a feel for what's going on first, getting a feel for the individual. And then that's why we have these meetings called care plan meetings, where we get a chance to meet the family and find out realistic perspectives on the relationships that are going on. And then we kind of gather our own information. But at the end of the day, it's still about the client, but it is about safety as well. So we do have individuals who think they're this way, and then we have a family member that comes in and gives us the reality, and we call it the come to Jesus meeting. So,
Right.
So,
But you really need to know, because it's the only way that you can solve the problem.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I like to hear from multiple different I guess, resources about an individual. So I get their information, then I will call a family member, whomever's the emergency contact, and get in contact with them and get the background, and then see if it matches up. If it doesn't, then we probably need to have a care plan meeting so we can all speak in front of each other. So one person saying one thing and the other saying that, and then we get to the bottom of it. Sometimes, not all the time.
Well, and if people haven't been in a hospital situation, like I said, post-COVID, it has changed a little bit than it was
Absolutely.
before.
Yes.
So there were a lot of restrictions, and now there's not as many.
Yes.
However, the protocols are still in the standards of what medical procedures have to be, right? And
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think for you, what I hear most is how you can educate people that are in your roles,
Yes.
be better equipped to identify who that right family member is.
Yes.
How do you take the right notes? How do you get a right journal? This book is great because people could go through here and say,
Yes.
did I ask this question? Do I
Yes.
need to ask this question? There's a space to keep notes and write
Yes.
out the things that you have concerns about.
Absolutely.
But it is bringing that team, just like in the hospital, you have the hospitalist, right?
Yes.
That brings everybody together.
Yes.
And is that pinpoint.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
It really makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes. Well, great.
Yeah.
Great. It's my passion.
All the things that you're involved in.
Yes.
I don't want to forget, because I met you
Yes.
before, although I watched you in this phenomenal play.
Oh, yes.
Tyrone Edwards was in here, and we were talking about this play, and then you said, I'm actually in the play. And we saw it, and it was phenomenal.
Thank you so
Touch.
much. Yes. Touch.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you got involved with Tyrone. I know your role was
Yes.
fun to watch you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. It was my first time. And that's the wonderful, wonderful thing about Tyrone Edwards, is that he gave everyone an opportunity, whether you've acted or been an actress or not, an opportunity just to, delve into it and see if it fits, and it gave you the opportunity to even look at your character and see if this is something you want to do, change any words, change anything you want to do about it. I mean, it was just
What an experience.
fantastic. Oh, it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, which was, I want to say 2 years ago when I met Tyrone, I was actually a stage manager. So he allowed me to come and do some of the stage management, which allowed the observation of what took place. And I mean, it is an ordeal. I mean, it's wonderful to be in the background and, and be in the audience. And I thought, wow, just being in the audience, they have no idea what's going on backstage.
No.
I mean, we're running around and, doing this and doing that. I mean, you have to make a smooth transition. And I mean,
That's why you're so good at the job you're doing now, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, you're a problem solver. You like to
Well-
kind of see it all together and bring the people together. And
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a gift.
Yes. Well, thank God. Because that's what I said. I have a lot of endeavors that I love to delve into, and this acting was one of those. I really appreciated him having me the opportunity to be able to be a part of this spiritual touch play. I mean, it was wonderful. My character,
wonderful.
It was.
I'm sorry you died.
I know. I did. I was sorry I did too.
But it was so good and powerful. And, we go back and that song, I only pray to God when I need a favor.
Yes.
Like that one in our household, we just keep saying how powerful having that song in the play is, because it's so real and it's so true and it's so what we're going through today.
Absolutely.
As a society.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is, because we always, we call it, we always say, he's not a genie.
Yeah.
You only want him when you need something. I mean, what about all the good things that he's already done for you? Mm-hmm. What about those? Start there first, thanking him first. And then, and not even saying that you have to be able to, be in that situation where you need to ask for something all the time. What about just being thankful that I took a breath today?
Right.
I mean, it's
a great
amazing.
message. It was a great message. It was a great play, and just congratulations, because it all just came together. Right. It was one night. It wasn't like a week. It was one night, one shot. There you go.
Yes, there you go. There you go. And it was lovely. And I do look forward to doing something else with the team. Definitely.
Yeah, that's so
definitely. We've been talking, so
that's so good. Well, I think you found your gift in so many ways.
Thank you.
Because I love this. I know there's so much we could really just even break down of what you do every day. But I think for people that are looking to either get into a healthcare service position, because you're still serving and equipping people around you.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a manager, whether you're a CNA, whether you're whatever your title is.
Yes.
Right. Caregivers that are going in to help and be advocates. This book. There's just so much packed in this little bitty book.
Yes, all 39 pages.
I know, but it comes from your heart.
Yes.
And I think now listening to kind of what you have done in the past, it makes sense that you are kind of this crafter that brings everybody together, and you can see it.
Yes.
So you have this vision, and I just congratulate you for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It is a vision. I mean, it's something that, like you said, it started from the heart, and it was something that I would never have thought I've gotten that far with it. I mean, I started writing on pieces of paper, sheets of paper, and I had paper everywhere, and I had number 1, number 2, number 3, and then all of a sudden it's a book. So
that's where it starts.
No one, if you have a dream at all about anything that you may want to do, please just at least try it once, at least once. And that's kind of where I am with life right now. Just everything that I feel like I could do a little bit of something with, and especially with helping people. That is very vital to me right now. I'm going to try it. And, of course, with entertainment as well, because I actually love that, really.
Well, you're so highly, you've gotten an education in the things that you really love.
Yes.
Having this health administration education and psychology, you get it. You get people, and you get how you can help people. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
I just want to be on your journey, and I want to help you. Whatever it is that you look forward to doing next, I celebrate you, because it takes a lot of courage for people to try things. Like you said,
it sure does.
And fail and say, well, maybe that wasn't exactly how I needed it to be.
Yes.
But also writing down your thoughts and ideas and trying to say, hey, if I could communicate this to other people, and they, John Maxwell always tells us, you can write a book, you'll touch people's hearts that you would never meet.
That's right.
And so the power in being able to do that and figure out the process behind it.
Yes.
It's powerful.
Yes, it is. It is. And just stopping and thinking about it after I looked at it, the finished product, I thought, wow. I mean, it was just something that was overwhelming to me as well, because a lot of people, you talk about what you're going to do, and you go through it with your mind, it role play, looks good, but until you get it solid, it's on paper, it's done, then it's amazing. Yes, it's very amazing. Get it under your belt. And yes.
Do it. Yeah.
I mean,
call Julie. She'll be your coach.
Sure will.
You're awesome. Well,
thank you.
Thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me.
This has been really great just to see you in person and not from the stage.
I know. I know, because I really appreciate you coming. I really do.
That's
I mean,
great.
everyone that came, I just was overwhelmed with love. And it's amazing how people really, they really care, and they really come, and they really paid attention, and there they are.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that, like I said, it's something you have to do if it's something you're thinking about. It was one of my endeavors that I always thought about doing just a little bit. I said I could do a little bit of acting, I think, but I never thought it would come to pass, especially here in the city. And that was the other piece of the puzzle with meeting Tyrone I was extremely excited about. It's because I had someone in the city of Indianapolis doing something that I really, really wanted to at least put my feet in and, delve around a little bit. And then there it was. And there was the opportunity. So I said, this has to be God. Mm-hmm. It has to be, because I was on my way to another city and just try it there. But there he was, right there in the city.
There he was. It happens.
Fantastic.
That awareness, you have to manifest, but you have to really pay attention.
You do.
To the things that are in front of you, because I always say it's like right here, and people miss it.
Yes.
It's like, well, I didn't see that right there.
Yes, I know. and I strongly believe that's God showing you, but you do have to have your eyes open, eyes and ears open. You really do.
He was touching.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
Oh goodness. Well, Julie, please come back.
I will.
Be a friend of the show. Come back and keep us posted on the things that you're doing and how you're changing the world, because I know that it's going to be a big journey for you.
It is.
Yeah,
it
as
is.
you continue to elevate people that just help us get better.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And people make me better as well. I can't do it without anybody else. I'm not in this world alone. I came here alone, but I won't leave alone. How about that?
Girl. Tell us how, I know you've got a website. Tell us your company name again and the website. Tell us a little bit about what's on that website, because I know it's new and we're excited to share that for you.
Oh, absolutely. So the website is www.vitaldailyliving.com. So that's the name of the business. And in the business, basically, it's providing the consultation services that I have as an occupational therapist. That's getting individuals who are at home trying to find out what type of assessments they may need. Maybe that's speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, anything to make that individual as independent in their home or any environment as possible. So starting with the consultation and then moving on to, we're going to be delving into home care services as well, which is we'll be doing a combination of medical and non-medical services. So once we get that up and going, which you will hear more about that.
Oh, good.
I think that'll be something that'll be very beneficial to all individuals, and that with the book as well, that is going to be one of the titles that will provide some caregiving services as well. So that's another reason for the book, is that we're going to stem from the business with providing home care services, consultation. Then the book will provide training to caregivers who may, for example, deal with individuals with dementia. Now, I didn't mention that, but that is my love of population, is individuals with dementia. Working with them, showing how to have the patients, breaking down tasks for that individual, and then basically having different types of interventions that will allow them to remain independent, because a lot of times individuals with dementia in the early stages, they'll start to know that they're forgetting things, and they'll start to see that they know that they're not themselves, but they can't quite pinpoint it. So it's kind of a depression state. So keeping them as motivated as possible, but keeping them involved in whatever you knew their life was as it was before, and trying to continue with that lifestyle as they begin to go through those different changes. So I do have a lot of training on dementia and Alzheimer's care as well.
From your grandmother.
Yes, from Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma Mamie.
Yeah, Grandma Mamie. But that's where it starts, right? You had your heart changed because you witnessed something that somebody that you cared about went something and struggled, and so you want to try to solve it.
Yes, absolutely. One person at a time.
I feel your heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Melanie. It's been such a pleasure.
This is so awesome. Come back.
I will.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good. All right. You heard it right here. Juli Stansberry First of all, go get her book on Amazon, Equip Yourself. This is what you need to do. Find her, go to her website, and connect to her because she's going to be doing some pretty big things. And thank you for tuning in to Everyday Business Leaders. I hope you were inspired to think and grow differently just about the people in your life that you love. And remember, our journey of growth and innovation, it never ends. And it is our mission to keep bringing you the best insights from our local community. So stay tuned for more episodes filled with wisdom, innovation, and inspiration. This is Melanie Ake signing off from JP the Geek Studio, where they say better IT service is just a call away. They say own it, secure it, and protect it. Until next time, don't forget, subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. Everyday Leaders helps you to develop strategies to be a better leader in your life. Remember, it's not what you do in a day, it's what you do every day that makes the most impact. Thanks for following us.